So, especially in SaaS sales, consultative sales, we're taught to be pleasantly persuasive, is the term I'm going to use. But a key part of our skill set has to also be knowing when to walk away from a sale, when to understand whether or not a sale makes sense, or whether we're trying to force a customer to think of our solution as the right solution because we're just looking at quota. So, of course, look, quota is how we get compensated, right? If you don't beat that quota, you're not going to get those wonderful bonuses. And we all want to double or triple our salaries. The biggest benefit of having a bonus structure set up the way that most sales roles are set up is that you technically have unlimited compensation. So, making that life-changing money of $300,000 or $400,000 a year, the people that I've seen that get to that level, and the way I've gotten to that level, is knowing when to say no just as much as knowing when to push. It literally is an art. And again, going back to my previous video around AI, this is why I don't worry in the near term about AI taking away account executive roles, because I think knowing that answer isn't necessarily down to data. It's down to gut instinct. It's down to knowing when it makes product market fit makes sense, and knowing when it's not just knowing like, hey, I need to close this deal, but can my company support it? Do we have the customer success resources in place? Does my client understand what the lift is going to be? Do they have the development resources in place? Do they know what it's going to take to be successful here? Are they willing to make the requisite investments, not just in the product, but in all of the services surrounding it in order to support this launch and make sure that it integrates well with their own systems? I'm speaking here from a SaaS perspective, but you can take this to any other perspective you want. You could even say something like, if they need to buy large farming equipment or large industrial equipment, would they be able to install that in their factory? Would they understand the maintenance needs for this piece of equipment for long term? You can extrapolate this out any way you like, but the best way to think about it and the simplest way to think about it is, does this deal make sense not just at close, but in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months? Because hopefully you're thinking long term about the customer relationship and the effect that it's going to have on referrals, the effect that it's going to have on your reputation. Knowing when to walk away and say, hey, you know what? I'm really happy you're excited about our product, but I don't think it's a good fit for you right now. Even try to present them with a list of alternatives or reasons why. Don't just come at them and say, oh, this is terrible. No, we don't want to sell to you. Don't do that. But instead, if you make a detailed explanation and really try to touch upon those points and have a very frank discussion, I think you'll find that actually improve the relationship and they'll respect you more. And maybe they're not ready now. Maybe this isn't the right time. Maybe they do need another 6, 12, whatever months until they're ready. But when they think about that time and when it comes, who do you think they're going to think of first? They're going to think of you as a consultant. You're not just some person trying to shove the product down their throat. You're someone who actually cares about their business and wants them to be successful. You're going to be that first thought, and your company's going to be that first thought when the time is actually right and they actually do want to make that leap and get your product on board. So happy, DM me if you have any questions on this. I can give you a couple of stories and scenarios where I've actually had to make this call, but otherwise like and subscribe for more.